Formula of iron sulfate is Fe2 brackets SO4 close brackets 3 times. Calculate the total number of atoms present in 23.42 grams of iron 3 sulfate. And it gives us some information here which provides quite a clue about how we're going to do it. It gives us relative atomic masses of iron, sulfur and oxygen, so we can work out a formula mass of iron sulfate. It's also giving us a mass of iron sulfate, so there's a damn good clue there that we're going to need to do moles equals mass over formula mass. I use the abbreviation MR for formula mass. So first things first, let's work out the formula mass of iron sulfate. So iron sulfate is going to be Fe2 brackets SO4 close brackets 3 times. So that's 2 times iron, 56 equals 112. We've got sulfur 1 times 3, sulfur 1 in the brackets times 3 outside, so 3 times sulfur, sulfur's 32, 3 times 32, 96. And then we've got 4 oxygens in the brackets, times 3 outside, so that's 12 oxygens, so 12 times 16. 4 times 16 is 64, so times that by 3 is going to be quite a lot more. Should we do that on a calculator? So 12 times 16 is 192, I think, is that right? 12 times 16 equals, let's do that again. 12 times 16, 192, I was right. Nothing like a bit of mental maths. 112, 96, 192, that looks like 400, doesn't it? Adding all that up equals 400. Let's check it on a calculator. It's always good to do mental maths, but let's check it on a calculator. 112 plus 96 plus 192 equals 400. Okay, so we've got our formula mass is 400. Our mass from the question 23.42. Well, there's no way I'm doing that in my head. 23.42 .42 divided by 400 equals 0.05855 moles. Now the important thing, never round mid calculations. Let's just write the whole lot of that down. 0.05, what do we say was 855 moles. So we've now got that many moles of atoms. Now we want to know how many atoms are present. Okay, so to do that, we're going to need to use, well, in 1 mole, there's this many particles on 6.02 times 10 to the 23. So we are going to need to say, take the number of moles. So our formula is now going to be moles times the Avogadro constant. And that's going to be the number of particles. Okay, if we're happy with that. So there's that many moles, 0.05855 moles, times the Avogadro constant, 6.02 times 10 to the 23. You never need to remember that. It's always given in the question there. Okay, now, the reason most people get this wrong is because they enter this into the calculator incorrectly. So let's just take that slowly. 6.02. Happy with that? So that's 6.02. Now, this is not a multiply. This is not a multiply. This is this button down the bottom here, times 10 to the x, times 10. So that does the times 10. Now we need to put in 23. 23 multiplied by, and we're saying we need to multiply that by 0.05855, so the number of moles. Put the calculator correctly, so let's press equals. So 6.02 times 10 to the 23 times 0.05855, is that what we said it was? It is, isn't it? So our answer here then is going to be 3.52 times 10 to the 22. Now before you congratulate yourself too much, okay, that's told you the number of particles of iron sulfate. Question asks the total number of atoms. So how many atoms are present in iron sulfate? Well, iron sulfate is 2 times iron, 3 times oxygen, 3 times sulfur, and 12 times oxygen. So 2 and 3 is 5, and plus 12, that's 17 particles and 17 atoms in total. Okay, so we need to take this number here, 3.52 times 10 to the 22, and multiply that by 17. Of course, I've lost that from my calculator. So I have to do the whole thing again, because I didn't, we never round mid calculation. I didn't write the whole thing down, so I'm just going to have to do the whole thing again. So 0.05855 times 6.02, this button down the bottom, 23 equals, and that's the answer we had before. Now we need to multiply that by 17. Now you can congratulate yourself. 5.99 times 10 to the 23 atoms. Difficult calculation. Well done if you got that. All these questions and more on elshamhighchemistry.com.